but that's the beauty of it all. Cause in my flaws, I find the strength to stand tall. Flawlessly imperfect.
Welcome to Perfect Imperfections with Kalia Bell. I am your host, Kalia Bell, and here we share the tips, the tools, and the mindset that we are using as we remove all roadblocks from our. Let's start all over. Hello, messed
No,
up.
this is what this is all about, Kalia. Okay. So when people see this, they know this is real, right? I do the same thing. And what I'm going to offer is right now, we're going to take a breath up high to the top of your head and then release. Let it go. One more time, up through your chest to the top of your head, then release. Let it go. And letting everybody see that, you know, that's what it's all about for me. Imperfection, like that's it.
Yeah.
Putting it out anyway, because we're working through a process, like we're both going through a journey. And this is what it looks like right now when we have to pivot, you know?
Yes.
And
Fix
I
it.
think what's so important is not hiding that part,
Yeah.
because
The
it really
authenticity.
means
Yeah.
something when you see somebody like, I do that too. Like, oh,
hmm
so
Stumble. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
I'm absolutely cutting this and using this as a moment. This will be on. Yes, this is gonna be. This is
The
content.
middle, the end.
Yeah. So I'm definitely gonna cut. That was a perfect, perfect way to start perfect imperfection. So listen, that was our start. Typically, I have a whole saying and everything. Thank you for being here. Thank you for joining. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. We're gonna get all of that out the way because I just decided we're not gonna edit that. This is what my sis coach Alycia Wells does, and this is why she's here today. So this is perfect imperfections. You guys know my spiel. It got butchered this morning, but it is what it is. It's perfect imperfections. Welcome, Coach Alycia Wells. Thank you for being here.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I appreciate you for inviting me. Like I don't have a plan. I just knew I wanted to say yes,
I
right?
appreciate that. I appreciate
I
that.
knew. It's like even in like the XYZ statement.
Mhm.
Yes,
I
let's do it.
appreciate that. I
Right.
appreciate that. Thank you so much. And let me just let you know, Coach Alycia Wells is you already guessed it. Yes, she is an MMU All Star. Yes, she is. So we have yet another MMU All Star. If you're not part of the MMU, I say it all the time, you are missing out on support, love, encouragement. And you just saw what my sis did for me. You just saw how I got in my head and I kind of got messed up. And she just took a moment to help me through breathing and help me through that exercise. And this is what we do
Hmm.
Monday through Friday, 7:45 a.m. to 9 a.m. every day. So make sure you
Absolutely.
tap into the morning meetup. But Coach Alycia Wells, tell my people who you are and what you do. Thank you for
Oh,
being
thank
here,
you.
by the way.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. So I am Alycia Wells. I do a lot of things, but what I would like, I just changed my XYZ statement so I can speak my truth to the world. Finally, I feel good. I help ADHD entrepreneurs and neurodivergents to become more clear with their business and life, right? Through issues of focus and scheduling. I want to help bring clarity and a system together so that we win at life and in business. So that's actually what I do. I am very excited. So my ADHD group is now called Mind Sparks Lab.
Oh, I love
So
that.
girl, it's so exciting. So yeah, so it's now a formal group. So I will be inviting people to join our group with entrepreneurs who think outside the box and are true creatives. I just want to bring that community together so there is no shame behind what we do, because we know most high level entrepreneurs and CEOs and billionaires
Yes.
have some sort of neurodivergency, right?
Mm.
And so by that, I mean, we think a little bit different than atypical people, right? So we are very highly valued in business communities because of the way we think, right? So in school, it's seen as, oh, they're a
Yes.
disruption, they do this, they do that. But however, they want us to all think in one way, but we
Hmm.
can't,
Right.
right? There's
Right.
many different ways in order
Yes.
to run a business, many different ways to run a household. So I just love to bring that to our people. It's not to say that you have to be diagnosed, but if you like have an issue with focus or concentration or scheduling, join the community, right? Join the community.
So
This is
it's
about us
funny.
using our superpowers, as some people may call it, right? That crazy drive that we have, crazy,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
So
That
that's what I
thing that keeps
actually
us
want to
going.
celebrate.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes. The thing that keeps us going. And
Yes.
it's funny because when I joined your group, so it was originally titled, like you said, the ADHD group. And I love that. And I originally joined because I just wanted to get a better understanding with my son and his superpowers. So, as I discussed with you, my 10-year-old has the superpower of ADHD. So, just wanting to kind of be in an environment that helps him navigate that, and what can I do to see it on an adult level, on a creative level? How can I help him navigate that? So, we
Mhm.
were in the group, and they're like mentioning like the symptoms and things that it can show up as, and I was like, wait a minute now. Do I have the superpower? Moi, that type of thing, because I did not see myself the same way that I see my son.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
that's one of the biggest things that, the superpowers show up in many different ways. But for
Yes.
someone that may not even be familiar with ADHD and, those superpowers, what are some of the things that you can say is, some of the things that we should be looking at, or symptom ish?
I can say like three that most people will share, but it's different for everyone. So that would be time management, right? Time management. And we think that it's very simple, but no, it can be very complicated for people who suffer with ADHD. Like there's a such thing as time blindness, being able to see time pass, but your body it doesn't feel like, to you it may feel like 5 minutes, but really it was 30 minutes to an hour, right? So you may see that person late to a lot of events, right? Missed appointments. I had that. uh appointments such as doctor's appointments and this and that. So you kind of like, if this is definitely reoccurring, it could be. Another thing that is an issue is focus, right? So we all have like interests, like so I love gardening and plants, right? So I'll get stuck on gardening and
Mhm.
planting, right? And I'll be so hyper focused on that thing and it's all great, but I forget the other things that I have to do, right? Because I'm so interested in this thing and it brings me joy. It's like, but I didn't make any money today.
Right.
And I kind of rationalize it in my mind. Oh, I got to do this. It's going to make me feel good, to get it.
Yes.
But no, girl, you got to do this. So that's one thing. Another thing is, okay, so I mentioned time management, focus, let's see, prioritizing things, right? Sometimes we can play these tricks in our minds about prioritization, right? So you may have 4 things to do for the day. And what I like to use is an ABC method. A is the most important. B is something that you don't need to do right away, but it's something that you may need to get done, pretty soon. C is something that you can delegate or give somebody else to do. Sometimes we may have this A thing and we're over
Yeah.
here on C,
Yep. Hmm.
and it's so important to us. But
Hmm.
again, that high priority, thing, which can definitely show up in finances because, we forget. And it may not be that you don't have the money, you forgot to pay the bill. And there's also a thing that's called the ADHD tax. Okay.
Mm,
Why? Because we're most likely in debt because we forget. We forget to pay our bills,
mhm,
right?
mhm.
We pay more because there's late payment fees,
Mm,
interest fees.
interest charges.
Yeah,
Mm.
because we forgot. And we pay more on things because we're behind, right? Not behind, but
Yes.
we may just have the intention of, yes, I'll get to that now, but hold on, I got to do this. Because we're not able to prioritize like atypical people, which may have an easier way, but hey, you know. So those are just a couple of things that you can might say,
That sounds like me.
yeah, that's
Now
me.
I know a lot of people don't like titles because even when
Right.
when we talk about our son, especially like in the Black and Brown community, it's like, oh, everyone wants to give the titles and they like to do that to our children. But I
Hmm.
do want to take this moment just to let you know that some of our children do have superpowers that that specialists can see, and by identifying these superpowers, they are eligible for um, assistance that they would not be able to get had it not been identified. So
Absolutely.
I do want to kind of talk with you, and you can kind of help my listeners that are adverse to the titles, or I don't want to
Right.
put that on me because
Right.
speak life, that type of thing. So what
Right.
would you say to those that's like, I don't want to be titled or labeled like that?
Right. And that is very good because I feel the same way. I don't want a title or put a title on it. But in order for me to reach my community and reach other people, I have to say the name. I have to continue to say it so it's on the top of their mind so they'll know, right? If I just say, oh, I'm just so confused, I'm so, not focused, I'm just put into a category with everyone else. But really, sometimes because of ADHD, I struggle a little bit more. So I only use it so I can find my people, right? That are like me. Identifying it, yes. I don't have to walk around and say, I'm this and that's why I can't do. No, I don't use it in that way. And I use it in the most positive way I can find it because that's how I can locate my people and also getting help with it because it's something that we have to work on, right? Um, so how can I work on something that I don't have a name for? So when I go to my doctor or you go to the psychologist or you go to a behavioral therapist, hey, let's work on these specific behaviors. That's
Right.
just giving it a name so we can, actually work on it.
Right. Right. That's what I always say. You can't fix a problem if you don't acknowledge that it's the problem. Not that it's a problem, because I really
Yeah,
honestly do see the superpowers in my son. Like I
right.
really honestly the way that even to the obsession part, he would be so obsessive over something, and I see it same thing with my husband. It shows up
Hmm.
when they're
Hmm.
obsessed over something, but it's an obsession that if it's planted and garden the right way, you can see how, it's like a Jordan, like I'm a,
Yes,
or a Steph. You can
that,
see how, yes, like you
that,
can see if you learn how to push through when
right.
something doesn't is broken, they're so obsessed with trying to get it fixed. So
Right.
definitely like that, like we talked about what you can see, but let's talk about some of the superpowers because
Um,
it's a
absolutely.
powerful
That's an
trait to have.
advantage.
Yes. So
Yeah.
let's talk about some of the superpowers.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So I hear this
You got
thing thrown
excited.
around. Yeah. I see this thrown around a lot where where people will, only talk about the things that we struggle with.
Hmm.
But I have an advantage over a
Right.
lot of people
Hmm.
because I can read a book, I can study that thing, make those notes, and create something from that. I don't just read books. So that's one of my superpowers, right? Or one of my advantages. Once I say yes to a project,
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Laser focus.
I'm laser focused, right, on that thing, and I want to get it done. And sometimes a time limit is good for me because I get excited, right? Because I need that little bit of excitement going, okay, we got to have this done by this date. I'm locked in, you know? So just personal development, like I'm on it. I'm super focused on moving the needle every day in all parts of my life. Okay. So I'm like, hey, am I spending time with my husband? Spending time with
Mm-hmm.
my kids? Am I doing this? Let's get some fruit. Let's get some almond milk, all the things, right? So those are like my superpowers, and it helps me to do what I do as a coach because I'm locked in. I'm good. And I love that about myself. So, like another superpower, and like, what if Bill Gates was not obsessed with technology?
Right.
Depending on how everybody, I mean, it doesn't matter how everybody feels about him, but that was his thing. He
Yes.
locked in. He knew this is what he wanted to do. And I'm sure it was an obsession. The parents were worried, you
Yes.
know, 'cause
What are you thinking about? Right. Right.
so it's one of those things. And this is like a lot of creatives in like actors and actresses. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're able to channel different characters and get in that mindset. That's not me, but I'm just saying those are the superpowers. Okay. And there's lots of people that are, I would say part of the 1% are A-listers who use their superpowers or their advantages over people, you know?
Yeah.
They're able
Yeah.
to highly focus. And I mean, I actually love it. And I would not want to change the way I think.
I
I
love
would
that.
not want to change it,
I love
right?
that. I love that. And it's that touches me because, having a child who has these superpowers, you're looking at all the ways like to change. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And to see as an adult, these are things that I definitely had to work with because also sometimes you can be made to feel that it's a bad thing, or you can be made to feel different. And I'm speaking, I know that you mainly speak with adults, but I'm speaking
Yeah.
from a parent's perspective with their
Oh,
child.
yes.
So this is kind of like we're flowing this conversation from the adult version and me
To the
starting with the
kids
child
version.
version, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
I know that as a parent, sometimes, especially sometimes in the school, you can be made to feel that what your child has going on is something that you need to fix, or it has to be done
Yeah.
differently.
Yeah.
And you just heard Coach Alycia say, I love the way that I think. And I have to be honest, sometimes when I'm speaking to my son, I'm sometimes kind of jealous
Mm-hmm.
of the way that his brain works because it is so different,
Mm-hmm.
and it's
Mm-hmm.
and it's like that freeing. It's that freeing kind of sense. I remember one time that he said I'm I'm similar to like uh, the guy from the Bulls. This is the second sports thing that I cannot mention today, and I know my family
Mm-hmm.
is going to
That's okay.
be so mad at me. Dennis Rodman. So my
Yes.
10-year-old saw when we was watching The Last Dance, he saw himself kind of in Dennis Rodman of that freedom
Mm.
and that freedom. And I want to kind of help someone get to where you are with that freedom of I love the way that I think, because I can
Yes.
also see from my 10-year-old's point, had we not been on this journey of where we are with our mindset, how we definitely would have been thinking that we had to fix him, or definitely
Right.
thinking that something was wrong. So help a parent or even help an adult get to the point of being free and loving what how your mind works and loving your superpower.
Right. So that is very good because I did struggle a lot as a child. Because I didn't have interests that everyone else had.
Yeah.
So I was seen as kind of a nerd, or they called me, oh, you act like you're white, and like all the things. So I
Yeah.
was bullied a lot because of my interests, and I hadn't I, like I didn't want to go party. I like what? What are we partying for? Like, what are we celebrating? That's how my mind is like, what? That doesn't make sense to me. No, I'm going to go home or go to work or whatever. But I know that I was just my own person, right? I dressed different. Um, but at the time I was being me. I
Mhm.
was just being myself. And then growing up, just getting stronger in myself, and knowing that that was just a short time. That was a short period of time that, these people had an influence on me and how,
Right.
so I did start to dress like them, to try to appear normal.
Mhm.
Um, but growing up as an adult and definitely working on myself, having the pride of who I am and letting it shine, letting people know, yeah, I'm quirky. If I do something that offends you, let me know. Don't let me just go out here and just keep doing it. Please let me
Mhm.
know, because sometimes
Mhm.
I may miss a cue. Um, you know, and I have a
Yeah.
sense of humor. So I'm always like, hey, let me know if I offend you. Like, I don't mean it, but just being okay with me, being okay with that, you know?
I love
And
that.
if you don't, like, a good thing is, if someone doesn't like you, it's okay. It's okay.
Yeah. Yes.
You're not for
I'm
everybody.
I'm teaching my 10-year-old that because he is the different kid in class. He is the, different,
Hmm.
just different. So
Yeah.
he doesn't understand at 10, he still
Yeah.
has a lot of life to live and
Right.
learn. And it
Right.
took
Right.
years for you to get here. So
Hmm.
it's
Hmm.
just we're constantly feeding into him and pouring into him in things because honestly, self-love is really where it comes from,
Yeah.
and that's something that I'm just now falling in love with myself at 43,
Hmm.
42.
Hmm.
So that took me years. So just learning the steps that I'm taking to love myself and fall in love with myself, the things that I'm trying to help him with that as well. And definitely having a conversation, as you stated, not always on what the problem is that you're bringing, but
Hmm.
what can we
Hmm.
use this, you know,
Hmm.
for
Yeah. What
good.
can we see? And another thing is, when we have children, they're exactly not trying to fix them, but seeing them as our mirrors,
Yeah.
right? They're mirroring us,
Yep.
right? They're mirroring us. So for us to learn from them, and that's how I figured out my daughter had ADHD, by her mirroring me. And I'm
Mm.
like, oh, I got irritated. And I'm like, oh, that's probably how
Mhm.
people felt about me. Um, so I'm like, okay,
Mhm.
okay. So that it really, and she helps me grow. She really does, just understanding why she does certain things. Right now, she's fixated on Korean culture, speaking
Oh,
the
wow.
language, eating the food.
Wow.
So for me as a parent, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm tired of seeing this. But how can I, you know, um, foster a healthy relationship? And okay, let's learn the language. Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe after a year, we may go to that country. Why
Right.
not?
Right. Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. And I think that us having that mindset is definitely going to, I'm sure you having lived through it, it's definitely been
Yes.
easier and you're more open-minded to it, to the needs of your daughter, because I
Hmm.
don't know your upbringing, but I know mine. I grew up in the do as I say and that's it. Just do what I said,
Same,
that's it.
same.
Don't ask any questions, just do it. I said it, just do it.
Yep.
um and having a son, and that was something that we had to kind of learn, and I mentioned it before, that having a son who brain does not work like that, who brain
Hmm.
works a little more logically, where you have to kind of explain, why are you telling me to do this?
Right.
and having
Exactly.
to having to parent that, because we come from a generation of don't ask any questions, and children should
Don't
not ask any questions.
don't question me, right?
Yes,
And back then it was for safety reasons. You know what I'm saying?
exactly,
Because a lot of stuff was going, and
exactly.
it's still going on today. However, but yeah, just seeing it not as them challenging you, but
Yeah.
it helps keep me on my toes because I mean, I should be able to explain to her why, right?
Yeah.
I should. And it's
And
like, yeah,
my sons, and it's funny, not funny, but I like that you added that, because you're the second person that I know that said that, because I had
mhm,
wrote one time, my son's godmother is into child, she does childcare and stuff. And when I wrote that about, Carter asking me questions and me having to
mhm.
answer, a lot of people in the timeline were like, he's a child. And his godmother said what you just said. If a
Yeah.
child
Mhm.
asks you a question, you should
You
be
should be
able
able
to
to
answer
answer
it.
it. Yeah. If you're like, do you know why you're saying this to him? So that's causing you to actually think about what you're saying and make sure it's not just a subconscious belief that someone told you, right?
I love that.
You know
We're
how
gonna.
our parents told us something and it just stuck, and then we believed it, and it's
Mhm.
like,
Why do we?
no.
Why am I literally this last year, my parenting? I'm like, why am I doing? Why? And then I'm like, oh, because. But as you stated, a lot of the things we were doing was for safety reasons that were just passed on generation to generation. And no one ever asked. I remember someone had like a story that they talked about a pan. Like, why do you make the meat in the pan? And he was like, well, my grandmother did it. And he asked the grandmother, and
Mhm.
he was like, well, my mother did it. And then the mother was like, well, I did it because the meat was too big for the pans that we use, so we had to cut off the
Right.
sides. And no one asked, like, you don't
No
have to
one
cut the
ever
sides
asked.
anymore. No one
Hmm.
asked anymore. Why are we
Hmm.
doing that? So that is to your point. Like, yes, it's okay to ask.
Yeah, it
And be able
is.
to
Yeah.
explain it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
So,
sometimes if you don't know, be okay with saying, I don't know, but let me research it and get back to you.
please, people, please. I cannot stand a person. That is my biggest pet peeve. Please just say you don't know. Please
Right.
do not blow smoke up my
Right.
behind. It's okay to say I don't know. It's okay. And it's okay to tell your children you don't know.
Yeah.
I, I don't know. I honestly don't know. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, what are some things that you and your daughter do together? Because I know that you definitely, having the walk that you had, I'm sure that you're consistently like pouring into her and things. So,
Yes.
what are some of the things that you do with your daughter?
It's funny that you ask, and she is 13 now. So I have to do things a little bit different.
Yeah.
She is a little more independent now, so she doesn't want me constantly. But I try to think of creative ways to like barge in, and to make space and room. So when she's getting up in the morning, she's, I don't want to get up, I don't want to get up. So I know that she doesn't like me to sit on her bed. So I sit on her bed and I start to read.
Mm.
So then she'll get up.
Hmm.
And so I will stay in her room and, make sure she's doing what she's supposed to do. But still, I'm spending time with her, right? That's my way of just saying, hey, you're not going to kick me out. And I will just do things in her room, straighten up, do little things just so I'm there. Okay. She loves to eat out. So we'll go, and eat out together, right? She loves that, right? I'm her best friend. Um,
I'm sure when you get the extra appetizer, we
right.
we besties.
So also joining her in her thing,
Yes.
her anime and all that stuff, I have to try to understand. So I'm like, hey, let's watch one of these anime shows. Okay, and then she's interested. And so I'll
Hmm.
say, who is that? Who's that character? And so that's our way of, and not trying to force my way in, but me joining her environment and what she likes, So
I love
those are the things that I'm, you know, trying to, the 13-year-old girl, that bull, whew,
I
is
have a
something.
daughter. She's 24. So we've been there. We've done that. I can
It's
tell
not
you it gets
easy.
better. It gets,
Okay.
it does. Someone told me it gets better, and it does get better. So I thank God for
Okay.
where we are today, because 13, we didn't talk. Like man, listen. I thought I might have had to end up with a 5 to 10 when she was 13. But we definitely got over the hump. God is good. When you see us today, we are a miracle. God is
Good.
amazing. It does get
Good.
better. But I like that you stated that I had Nayetta on the podcast, and
I
we were
love
talking about,
Nayetta.
me too. I love Nayetta. Isn't she amazing?
She is.
Um we were talking about that, just that, how
Mhm.
I was someone, I was the parent that did things that I wanted to do.
Yeah.
So, with him, he's not big on just doing things because you want to do it. Like my other kids,
Right.
I could kind of like, convince them, like, let's
Yeah.
do this. And
Convince
he's like,
them.
no, I'm not. I
I
don't
don't
want to
want
do
to do
that.
that.
That's not what I want to do. And if you don't want to do this, this is what I'm doing. So going into his world, because he's into anime and things like that, I'm like, it's still a work in progress. But
Yeah.
Nayetta has definitely incorporated something, helped me
Good.
incorporate some things with, like, just go in the room. I can be on my iPad. He doesn't care, but I could
Yeah.
be doing something
Yeah.
else. But it's just being in that space with him,
Mm-hmm.
knowing
Mm-hmm.
that I'm at least wanting to be interested in something that he is
Right.
interested in. Now I
Exactly.
do know that right now your brand is on an ADHD, and I kind of want to talk about where your brand started from. And I want to do that because I'm going to get to the point of you actually speaking your truth. So
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
where did you start your brand from?
My brand started out originally being health and wellness, right? And helping entrepreneurs to organize life and business, right? So it hasn't changed much because I still do the exact same thing. It's only being true to myself and my demographic. And it's like I'm doing the exact same, like that hasn't changed. It's just who I'm specifically calling you out now.
Mhm.
It's like I used to like say overwhelmed entrepreneurs or entrepreneurs that need help with, systems and processing and life. But now I'm like, you know what? I'm tired of playing this game with myself. I'm
I love
specifically talking to this community because I want to celebrate, you know, our differences and just having us to be more organized in, like I say, life and business. So we don't feel like we have to hide, our differences, but, again, just celebrating it and just getting it out there and seeing what we look like. We are all different shapes and sizes, and, it's different for men and women, but I want us to come together and to see and to create a community. So that's where it has that's where it has evolved to.
Both too, right?
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
how did you get to the place where you were comfortable enough to shed the, in entrepreneur world, in the our community also, like as I stated to you before, titles are so scary, and oh, I
Yes.
don't want to say that. Oh no, that looks crazy. So
Yes.
how did you, what moment or what was it that you were like, you know what? This is me. This is my brand. I'm not going to use any synonyms. This is
Yes.
what we
Yes.
do. How did you free yourself to that?
I will have to say it took several months. And this is I will say to MMU, the morning meetup, speaking and just asking questions, asking Dave questions, asking the community questions, and seeing like the patterns in, people needing help in the community. And it's just like, okay, um, it was just a bunch of information. And I forget the question that I had asked Dave one day, but I cannot remember the conversation or what I was saying. Oh, I asked him if I could create a group within the community so I can
Oh
throw
yeah.
resources in for entrepreneurs. And he said, absolutely. And I got excited and then a little teary-eyed, right? And I was still on the call, but I cried. And I just remember that moment. Like, wow, it was a moment, that moment when he said, sure. And I'm like, hmm. So I would say that was the start of it, having the community. And then I still had my coaching. I kind of separated it, you know,
Yes,
and then I just kept doing my thing. And it's like, you know what? I'm tired of, let me
yes,
put this together. This is it. This is
yes.
my community. This is how I can help. And I'm very happy that I made the decision to do that,
You
because
seem free.
I was told not to do that.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just say that. I was
Mm-hmm.
told, nah, you probably don't want to do that. So I didn't. And it's now, you know what? I can do whatever I want.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
I can do
And I
whatever I
and
want.
I believe honestly that this is a gift. So
Hmm.
you wanting to kind of shift your gift or make it pretty and put a box and a bow on it, and God is like, this is what you have. Be bold and proud in it and go and help some folks. Because
Absolutely.
honestly, if I recognize or identify as an entrepreneur that had ADHD and you're like, oh, just organizing, I'm helping entrepreneurs organize, I'm just helping entrepreneurs strategize.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh,
It gets
she can't help
lost.
me. Yeah, she
Right.
can't
It
help
gets
me.
lost in
Right,
the
right.
shuffle when you're
But
talking about your
it,
brand. But now
exactly.
that, like you said, being bold and saying, this is exactly who I'm talking to.
Yep.
I not only know, like I understand because I
Yes.
am,
Yes.
right?
Yes. And
And if
setting a
we
safe
tweak these
space.
couple of things, you're
Yes.
going to be amazing, right? Join me on my journey to my first $1 million. Like, let's
That's right.
go.
That's
That's that
right.
energy right there.
That's
Like,
right. That's right. You see, it's a
yeah.
I said you seem freer. I really feel like you do seem freer. You seem,
Hmm.
you spoke about your been in the community with you for a while, and you've always
Hmm.
did your XYZ statement. You've always, pushed your brand. You are an MMU All Star. You are an MMU
Thank you.
inspiration, and you are an MMU example. So I do
Thank
see, and it's just been a small, I want to say just a few days that I found out
you.
that you are now going forward with it.
Hmm.
And you
Hmm.
just seem like, this is who I am,
Hmm.
period.
Right.
Period.
Exactly.
This is who
And
I am. Yeah.
yep, struggled making that decision because it's like I was, hiding
Yes.
behind it. Like I had the group, but I was doing this. And it's like, you know what? No, I'm not doing that.
Together. Yeah. Yeah.
No. So
And it's
it does,
helpful.
it
It's
is
helpful.
free.
And I'm sure, as I stated to you before, there's someone that identifies and just was like, I'm lost. I don't know what to do. I don't know where to go. Who can help me? And no one is out there saying, I know what you have because this is who I am. And it's
Yes.
okay. And I got like, we got this together, and I've done this and I've read these books because, as she stated, Coach Alycia reads. She will read a book. She has done her knowledge. She's done her all the information, and so she's not just pouring out and giving information based on what she thinks. She's actually, a lot of coaches are going based on feelings and going based
Mhm.
on experiences, but not a lot of
Mhm.
coaches are going based on actual education and information. And Coach Alycia
Mhm.
is leading with the information behind. She's done the research, she's done the work, and she's lived a life. So she knows what she is talking about.
Thank
Now,
you.
make ADHD sound pretty. Like I said, make ADHD sound sexy for our
Yes,
business
sexy. What's
owners.
that?
Let us know. Tell us where can we plug some of our superpowers in specifically to our business? Where should we be plugging in our superpowers specifically to our business?
I would say time management because you can always tweak it, right? Time is money, right? There's always a way to improve your systems and the way that you do things, right? With even the amount of time you spend like online. So you could be losing 3 hours a day, taking you away from making money in your business, for doing things, just that don't matter,
Strolling,
just scrolling,
scrolling.
right? Consuming information. So I would say that's the huge thing. There's so many ways for you to get more time back if you make that a priority in your life and business. Just making sure you schedule non-negotiable time first, right? Non-negotiables, like, nope, every day I am going to do this. I am going to do prayer and, devotion. One of my non-negotiables is I pick my daughter up at 2 p.m. That's important to me, right? So that's non-negotiable. I want to see her face, her walking out the building, she get into my car.
We have our moment.
Yeah. So I think time management is huge. If we can just focus on that and do an audit of how we spend our time now and how we would like to spend our time. So looking at that. So I think that's huge. And it can definitely, like you said, just more money, and that's what we need to be
Listen,
able to do
that
the things that we do, right?
that is
Not to
definitely my
just
biggest
spend it, but
challenge.
yeah,
That
to
is
get
my
more
biggest
money in our
challenge is
businesses.
the time management. Absolutely. I know that that is where I'm missing the money is coming from, where I'm spending my time at. And sometimes when you have such so free time, it's
Mm-hmm.
it's fun to have free time, but
Yeah,
all that free time is not free. So definitely
right.
time management. And I know that you have a bunch of different
Yes. I'm
ways
working
to
on
do
some,
that.
yes, I'm working on some new tools and tips right now. I have them coming out. I have a couple of new offers I'm really excited about. Not ready to announce them, but some really cool stuff. So look out for the new offers within the next week or so. It is amazing. Like I said, Mind Sparks meet every Sunday at 2 p.m. I don't have a link for that just yet, but I can, you can share our link,
Yes.
Kalia, underneath.
Hmm.
Yeah. So yeah, Alycia Wells, AlyciaWells.com is where you can find me, find all of my stuff. But yes, I will be updating it. But yeah, give me grace. I'm coming.
I'm listen, your brand, like I said, when I first joined her first meeting, I was just joining in support of my son. And but it
Mhm.
has been it's been really helpful because I know that I'm meant to be there, and I think I mentioned this to you, but every Sunday at like
Mhm.
around 1:30,
Mhm.
as you stated, the day it could be what I'm thinking 5 minutes, and then I look up and I'm like, oh my gosh, it's 1:30, and I'm like, I feel it like, did I miss 2 o'clock? And it's always I
Yeah.
never miss the time unless
Yeah.
I'm not home. So if you don't see me,
Yeah.
that means that I'm not
Yeah.
home. But
Yeah.
it's like something that always has me there, and even in that moment, someone that has a brain that's like all like that
Mhm.
that can
Mhm.
be in different compartments of the world,
Right. Right.
knowing that Sundays at 2 p.m. I'm going
Yes.
to be here at 2 p.m. on Sundays. That hour is going to give me time to decompress in my week, to plan my
Yes.
week, to speak with others and see how they're planning their week, seeing what their issues may be, being able to help them. It
Help.
really has
Yeah.
been
Right.
it's more than what I thought it would be. So I thank
I
you for that.
and I appreciate it. And like I say, I'm only facilitating this thing, but I do want it to be kind of like the name, Mind Spark, because you see how quickly we're able to give each other
Yes.
ideas about our
Yeah.
business
Yeah.
once we say it, and they're like,
Yeah.
oh, no, do this, do this, do this,
Yeah.
or hey, this can help. So I love that.
Yes.
And I want this community to grow. And yeah, I'm excited about it. Really
And I'm
excited.
definitely, I'm going to definitely push, promote, and pump, and just because I stand behind it, and
Yeah,
it's not
thank you.
because I just want to support you,
Thank
but I do
you.
want to just
But
support you, but I do
yes.
stand behind what you're doing, and I know that the work that you're doing is going to really help so many adults. And honestly, again, in our community, in our culture, a lot of the kids that were deemed as constantly interrupting or not listening or the wild kids and things like that, they were never diagnosed, but
Right.
they
Yeah,
have these superpowers and they could
right.
be in a position. And I believe and I know that a lot of adults are in a stuck position. It's really because they don't know that my
They don't
brain
know.
works this way.
Right.
And I have to, like, knowing how to move
Yes,
their
to
brain to
pivot. Yes, yes.
exactly,
Because
exactly.
another cool thing is that it may you may exist or have feelings of depression because you
Yes,
feel like I just want to be like everybody else.
yes,
No, but if you have a community to celebrate with and
yes,
to see what, you know what I'm saying? So it's
yes,
bigger than just this little title, right? Or
yes.
people who say, hey, I suffer from anxiety or depression. And it could be that they want what, they see everybody else has. They look, they may think it's true, the lady that's, posing in front of her Mercedes and, all posed up.
Hmm.
It's like, I know that's not me.
Right. Yeah, yeah,
But just celebrating our differences and yeah, and like we're actually the cool people, right? We're
yes.
the real people.
Yes, I say that all the time. I'm like, I say our youngest is the coolest one out of all my kids. He's the cool one.
Oh,
He- He's the cool one, and it's just like it's so amazing. I'm grateful to be in a community, and you have, again, as I stated, your community because
mm,
I I'm learning. I'm still learning. So I'm very
yeah,
grateful that God put me in this place because I'm now learning it in different on different levels.
yeah,
His
yeah.
therapist suggested that I read but scattered
Dist
but
Delivered from Distraction, is that it? Or well, it's a
no.
bunch of books.
Yeah, so I just bought
That
my
yeah,
first one. I just bought my first one. I think it's called Scattered but Smart or Scattered. I can't remember the title and I'm
yeah,
so upset.
yeah,
But it's
yeah,
it's supposed to be able to again help cultivate and and not it's not a bad thing. You're perfectly imperfect the way that you are, but learning
absolutely.
how to cultivate that and learning how to tap into the creativity and all of the superpowers that are there as well as understanding it because we've only touched on a few things, a few
Right.
ways that it shows up, but it's
So
so
many.
many
Yes.
different because we
Yes.
haven't even talked about the interaction with
Yes.
others because that shows
Mm-hmm.
up as well when the social aspect of it. It's
Yes.
it's
It's
a
a
lot.
lot. Yeah. And they're experts that have so many different opinions about it. Um, but I feel like we can say, I mean, we're better at, because it's us.
Exactly.
We're actually
Exactly.
living it. Let
We
them
can
fight it out and argue about whether it's an illness on the DSM or not. I don't care. But right now,
I could tell you.
right.
Right. Right. Right.
Mhm, mhm.
Listen, I really enjoyed this. Thank you so much, Coach Alycia, for this conversation. I'm a rapper, so I didn't know what I was going to talk to you about. Coach Alycia and I, she is a mindset. You saw at the beginning how she helped decompress my mind and get me, centered. So she works with the mindset. Our faith. We talk about faith. So I didn't know what
Absolutely.
direction we were gonna go in today, but it
Next
really
time. Next
listen
time.
next because you will be back again and again and again. I'm letting you
Thank
know that
you.
now. And next
Yes,
time I'm gonna make sure that we have the email and everything set up.
but it's okay. Look,
It
it's
worked out.
okay.
It worked out. But today's conversation, I'm so glad that we were able to have a conversation on the superpower because I want to get this out definitely more. I want to normalize it. I want us to
Yes,
not be afraid. I want us to not be
yes,
ashamed. I want us to not hide. I want us to also tap into the resources that are there for our children because what happens is that when we are not acknowledging or not wanting to quote unquote put a title on our children, they are missing out on so many resources,
yes,
so much extra help that they can
yes,
get by just having this. having it titled so that they are able to be eligible for some of the resources that can help them succeed. Because I see my Carter gets breaks in school when he needs
Mm-hmm.
necessary breaks. He also has specialized incentives that are specific to him. And
Yeah,
we would not have been able to do that had we not, had it titled. He had this
exactly.
superpower. We need the resources to help with this superpower, and learning how to again cultivate it and build it so that he can be the amazing young man that he is destined to be, because he is destined for greatness. So
Come on.
yes, that
I
listen,
love
he
that.
is destined for greatness. So I
Yeah,
definitely appreciate you. I appreciate all that you do. And I really, really honestly, from a parent, from someone who is learning their mind, I appreciate you standing up and being in your truth. I appreciate you standing up and being unashamed about your truth and your journey, because that way not only are you helping us, but as I stated before, you're making it be okay. You are okay, and it's okay to be okay, and it's okay to be proud of everything, every gift that God has given us. No matter whether you see it as a gift, trust me, it is a gift that can be used for the good. So, Coach Alycia, I appreciate you. Again, let my people know how we can tap into you. Where can we follow you at? Where can we tap in with you?
thank you, Kalia. I appreciate you.
Absolutely.
I'm sitting there and you actually filling my cup today. Thank you so much. God is good. You can
Amazing.
find me AlyciaWells.com, Alycia with a Y, Alycia. And yeah, that's where you can find me. I'm also on Instagram, most social media. You will see me as Coach Alycia Wells. So just remember with a Y. But yeah, thank you so much. I appreciate
I
you.
appreciate you being here. Thank you so much. I know I'm not gonna. I used to say end it and say I hope. No, I'm gonna start ending my
I
episode
know.
saying I know that this episode has blessed someone. Me as a parent,
That's
knowing the things that I have gone through, knowing the struggles that I've had within myself personally, and Coach Alicia has definitely helped tap in and give me some information on how to make it better, how to do things better, no matter, again, what you may think is a problem, there's a solution to fix it. So, to all my superheroes out there, you go out there and you be powerful. You stand in your truth, because we are all perfectly imperfect, just the way that we are. Make sure that you
mm,
like, comment, and subscribe, and share this message. Share this message to an adult, a parent, anyone out there that you know that needs this, because again, we are all perfectly imperfect. And with that, until next time, peace. Coach Alicia, thank